How are you? I'm giving a teaser as to who you are and how wonderful you are to all these wonderful people joining us today, because
tease away.
Tease away. And for sure, if anybody needs a real hit of happiness, go check out her amazing trailer right now. It is on fire. It is as if you're about to go into the greatest movie you've seen in a long time, especially in October, a thriller with so much more. So I really have to say, Liani, I am so excited to have you on. I feel like, Christmas is around the corner, and let's call it Halloween, because this is the season we're in, the spectacular October. And I can't imagine having anyone else but you because of the amazing, amazing book that you have coming out next Tuesday. How do you feel?
I feel great. No, I don't know. I have a lot of fun. And hi, everybody in the chat. I love seeing everyone. So I just did a podcast yesterday when I see Christine in there. Hi, Christine.
Oh my God.
She's awesome. But I was going to actually tell you, if they're taking other podcast guests, you should definitely do. I had the best experience yesterday.
Oh, awesome.
With them. They were amazing. But it is going. I don't know how it's going. I feel excited, but I feel stressed and I feel nervous. So, I want to be totally open and candid about things. I think it's going well. But
right now, just so you know, you're getting mad love from the feed. Everyone's sending you so much love.
Brit! Oh my God, my friend Brit from Dallas. So she's coming to the Dallas, our Dallas signing, my Dallas signing in Interbank.
Oh, you guys, wait.
Chat.
This girl has so many events that are coming up to a city near you.
Hi, Carolyn.
Cassie's here from Caffeine and Legends. We met in Edelweiss above the Tree Line Festival.
So cool.
She's joining us today too. All of you wonderful people. I'm getting tons of waves and highs and loves and everything. So, Liani, if this isn't going to rev you up for the beginning of the, coming upon your reviews, I don't know what will. For sure. You have Carolyn here. You have Leslie. You have Suze. You have everybody just loving on you. So we're going to give you all that energy to take into that spectacular book launch that's coming up. But Amazing Authors is a little bit more than just the book. It's all about the author and what brought her to this point in her life to launch such an exciting book, such an exciting career, such an exciting world to just about start and especially in October. I in my world is October's the month of service. And I really do believe that when you get a good book, it really serves the reader as well as the writer, because that is a communication that someone can bring home with them to sit in bed and read a really good novel or a really good thriller or a really good memoir. So definitely, I'm so excited for you. So,
Meg, you're such a better person than me. You see October as like a month of service, and I'm like, pumpkins, vampires, witches. I'm like a huge horror fanatic, so I like service. I'm gonna have to use that.
Well, talk about a huge horror fanatic, definitely launching in the perfect month for you, for sure, right? I mean, it was synchronistic that it unfolded this way. And you're getting roses. Maybe we can say roses with blood dribblings off of it.
I like it.
In line with your theme. But this is a show, like I said, about amazing authors. And our theme is, this is our room where we get to create magic, inspiring other people to invite into the world of your story, as well as sharing with them your story. It's an empty room of stories waiting to happen, and get ready to tell it by this wonderful author. So, I want to give a brief bio as to who you are. You are so much more than this. Diana's here. Hello, Queen, for sure. Hey, Queens. There's more with regard to your story, your background, because I always love, and my book club always razzes on me because I'm always looking at the story of the author, because I feel that when you read the book, the author is really the catch. I want to love the author so I can bring home the book. And this author, you guys are going to just love. She is a trial attorney turned award-winning young adult author and book blogger. If you haven't seen her blogs and her Insta feed, you guys have to go sign up right now at Rektok Ross, REKTOK ROSS. She has great reels, great TikTok, great everything. And it's just so delightful. And also she loves books. She loves books, and it's so delightful to see someone else, exactly, that beautiful array, you know, that beautiful library she has herself, and that beautiful cover to your book. So she's an avid reader since childhood. She writes exactly the kind of book she loves to escape into herself. Exciting thrillers with strong female leads. So you guys, all you women out there, strong female leads, swoon-worthy love interest.
Wait,
Now,
Suzanne is so funny. Her comment, ski weekend biatches.
Yeah, can't wait. That's right. Ski weekend biatches. And I have to tell you, that is awesome because literally ski weekend gone awry biatches. So it's even better. I mean,
everyone's so nice in the comments. You guys, I really like, this is what you asked. So Meg asked me how I feel about this week. And to be honest, it's like, it's scary. I'm stressed out, whatever. But just seeing, I want to cry. Like seeing all these nice comments and the support of everyone, like genuinely makes this experience awesome. Like this is what it's about for me, at least, is like connecting with people and the writing community and readers. And I mean, Meg, like you said, service. I guess I didn't realize, like maybe I am a fan of that too, but
I weave it in.
Comments.
Innocuously in, I weave the actual altruistic service components, but at the same time, you get all the hits from the love that's coming back to you because you give out so much love and so much generosity, Liani. And that's really what we want to do for you now as you launch your book, is give it back to you in kind and get some eyes on this book and get to know you better. You know, I do want to say that, you know, your journey has been very interesting. And certainly, you know, I love the fact that we're both attorneys and we both decided to take that leap of faith because that's huge. That's really kind of into the dream world. Perhaps yours is a little nightmare, but I laugh because I am not a thriller, but I am literally loving this book for sure because, you know, I think because I know you. That's it. I know you and I love you. And I think that you have so much to offer this world. You're an incredible writer. You engage from the senses. It feels as if you're reading a movie, and that is exactly what we're going to see in the future. Is this woman is going to have a movie?
That was my intention. I love this. This is like morning pep talk with Meg, but that was actually my intention. So I have always been, since I've been really little, I've always been a huge fan of storytelling as a whole. I was like uber fascinated with Hollywood. I used to like watch the Oscars and, you know, red carpet and everything. And I always said, like, one day I'm going to be in California, one day I'm going to be in Hollywood. And so I think my storytelling definitely has that, you know, film to screen aspect to it. I love things that, you know, you can actually see in your mind as a movie. It's very, cinematic, fast-paced, commercial. I do, you know, I'm older, so like I've lived a lot of life and I've seen a lot of things, and it's important to me to put, you know, I'm not like a message person, but I do think as human beings, there's like things that we should work on and think about. And so it is important to me to have those sort of themes in my book. So I'm never going to write like, if I wrote a slasher, which I might be writing right now, it's not ever going to be just, you know, bodies falling to the floor. There's going to be something in there to think about. So I like to think like my brand is like thoughtful thrillers, thoughtful horrors, because I do want people to think when they pick up my book. I want them to really like examine what's going on, think about what they're doing in life, think about society, how they interact with others. You know, each one has a different theme to it, but it's definitely thought-provoking, but it's thought-provoking in a fast-paced, commercial, exciting way, which might not be for everyone, but it's definitely like what I gravitate towards. Kind of like, did you ever see the movie Get Out?
Oh my God, total thought-provoking.
Okay, so I'm like Jordan Peele. I just think he is so brilliant, and that movie is kind of what I aspire in my storytelling. Something that's exciting and fun. Like, you could have appreciated that movie on so many levels, right? Like if you came in and you're like, I don't want to think at all about race relations in America, which is what thematically it was about, you could still enjoy that movie and come away like that was such a fun, exciting thriller or horror. I mean, it's kind of both. But if you wanted to dive deep, gosh, there's so much in that movie about what we're going through with BLM and society and, you know, race divides in America. It plays on so many levels. And like, that's what I want my books to be. I want them to be something that you can hand to your reluctant, you know, 13-year-old reader, or even like my brother who's 45 that doesn't read books. He thinks he doesn't like books. I want my books to be something you can hand to someone who thinks they don't like to read or doesn't, you know, doesn't know that they like to read and is actually going to be able to enjoy it because it's fast, it's quick, it's exciting.
Yeah.
But you can also hand to someone that's like, I like book club reads. I want to think when I read, and the book can work on both levels for both types of readers. So yeah, you definitely hit it on the head. For me, I like that film thing, you know, the film thematic thing, but I like it to have a meaning as well.
Well, I just have to point out that Bookworm and Crime's pointing out, yay, 2 empowered women in one sesh. So proud of you, attorney Miss Meg. But I really want to point out,
awesome.
She seems awesome, but I have to tell you something. There's really a space that is opening up more so for empowered women to use their voices to tell really good stories. Thrillers are a place where that is really necessary because, like you just said, Jordan is a male, and not that he's, you know, anything's wrong with that, but we want, they say women are the majority of people who go to the movies. Women are the ones who read. Yeah. Women are the audience. We are the ones. Why aren't we using our purse power to really elevate women authors, women voices, etc.? And now we have a definite model or mentor or role model in you coming out with your empowered voice. So tell me a little bit about this book, my God. And well, first of all, tell me about your journey here. That is really where I want to start. How did you get to jump off of a trial attorney career into the whole author world?
I really don't know. No. So it's funny because you talk about journeys, and for people listening in, we actually have a panel. So Meg and I have a panel coming up next Friday. And when we were kind of hashing, like, what topics could we talk about? We both were like, we really want to empower other women. I mean, men too. We love men. Men are great also, but specifically women, because we are women. We want to empower them to really take control of their lives, figure out what they're doing, make sure that what they're doing, they're passionate about, and figuring out, like, how to take the fear out of that. Because for me, I've always wanted to do this, but something always held me back. I mean, a lot of it was financial growing up. I didn't have the ability, like, I didn't come from a family with money, so I didn't have the ability to say, oh, I'm just going to go to New York and be a writer. Oh, I'm going to go to LA and write screenplays. That was never in the cards for me. But, or at least I didn't think it was. Now I think the world has changed a lot. So I think there's a lot more doors open, as you said. But I think, you know, as I've gotten older and I knew I wanted to make the transition, as much as I loved law and I loved my firm, I knew that I wanted to do something different, that, like, there was something inside me, the passion for storytelling, and I was ready to do it from, like, an emotional level, but I was very scared to do it from, you know, the brain level.
Yeah.
And for me, it was actually a really long journey. I had to, this is such a funny random story, but so I'm married, my husband has 3 kids, and Meg has met the wife, ex-wife of my husband and the mother of my 3 stepkids. And she is a really amazing powerhouse.
Love her.
We are good friends, which people think is crazy, but I love it. It works great for our family. And she recently transitioned. She was like a kick-ass entrepreneur, like one of the top saleswomen at Oracle. She's really a phenomenal woman. She had transitioned herself to actually become a coach to help people transition exactly like I wanted to, from the professional life to a creative life. And I really struggled a lot with making the jump from being a lawyer, because I had put so much time and energy into building this career. You know, I got the law degree. I went straight to the big law firm. I worked insanely hard to get to a level I got. I was at, you know, pinnacle of the firms you could be at. I actually loved my coworkers. I loved my firm. My firm was so incredibly supportive, had all the bells and whistles. My salary was kind of crazy. And it was like, what? This is so hard to leave. And we talked a lot about identity for me. And I don't know if other people listening can resonate with this, but identity was a big leap for me to figure out, because when I would go out and I would meet people, they would say, oh, what do you do? And I would, you know, get all proud. Like, oh, I'm a lawyer. I won't say the name because no one cares, but I'd be like, I'm a lawyer. I work at blah, blah, blah. And especially in New York, where it's a really well-known firm, people would be like, oh my God. Like, I would immediately get that, you know, the ego. We don't want to talk about it, but, like, let's be honest. I would get that, like, ego perk of, like, oh, I'm someone. I'm important. People know who I am. And for me, I was like, how do I go from that level of people respect me automatically just because they know that I'm a lawyer and I'm at this big prestigious firm, to now I'm at a party and people say, oh, what's your name? What do you do? And I'm like, oh, I'm an unpublished author. Like, that's a lot. They're like, my community, when I started asking people, oh, what do you think? You know, confidentially, I'm thinking about leaving and I really want to write books. I want to write, you know, books for teens, like crossover YA, like the Hunger Games. Like I want to write the Hunger Games. People are like, what? Like why? And honestly, I actually had they're not really in my circle anymore because I learned how to remove toxic people. But I had people that were like, that's embarrassing. You know, why would you want to do that? That's kiddie stuff. You know, that's no, you've built up this career like no one, a kid writer, like what is that? And so I had to really come to grips with a lot of it's ego, right? Why do I care what these people think? Like if they're not supportive of me, then they're not on my team anyway, because people who really care and love on me and support me are going to say, that's amazing. I think that's awesome. Do what your heart tells you to do, right? So I had to I worked with Hillary a lot on figuring out the ego end of it. Like, how do I remove myself from that negativity and separate myself? Like, I know my worth. My worth is not based on someone saying that's stupid or whatever. That's their own issue.
Okay. I just want to stop you. I got to stop you there.
Yes.
Write what you just said. Say it again for the people in the back who couldn't hear you. My worth is not, go ahead.
What did I say? My worth is not what other people think?
Yes. Okay. Yes. So if it's your dream, you have to go for your dream because your one's around. You have to
go for it. And that's, you know, there's a book called The Four Agreements. So if anyone, I am obsessed with that book. My brother gave it to me and I think it's a fantastic book everyone should read. But lesson 2 in The Four Agreements, I'm going to misstate it, but it's basically, you know, if someone has something negative to say, that's about them. It's not about you.
Yeah.
And so really understanding that and really taking that to heart and working with Hillary on okay, I got to take the ego out of it. Who cares what I introduce myself at a party? What do I care what these people think? They don't know me. I know me. And I know that I'm proud of me. And so that, and then the financial aspect, I have a lot of fear about finance, and that's growing up without money and watching my parents fight about it all the time as a kid and not having money to do this, this, and this. I always said when I'm an adult, that's never going to happen. I don't want that life. I don't want to be, fighting over whether, we can go to Subway for dinner tonight. Or I love my parents and not disrespect them, but I was like, that's so much stress. I don't want to live like that. I want to be able to afford what I want in life. I want to be able to go out to dinner if I want to go out to dinner. And so with Hillary, I was like, well, if I leave this big paying firm and then I have no income, what is my life going to look like? And we just worked through, there's a lot of exercises. We worked through all the fear of that and taking all of that away.
Well, Berta is also saying the 4 agreements are awesome. And I want to point out what Suzanne said. All of the life and work experiences poured into your writing, it makes it even richer. And that is taking everything that you've learned up until this point, aside from your identity, because one thing does not identify who you are. It's the whole story that your life is telling, and you get to share that. And I had the legal job too, and I always used to say to myself, because literally I wasn't going to go postal in my office, but I used to say the pen is mightier than the sword. It's going to come out on the page one day, and that is going to be a healthy expression. Clearly I need to pick up thrillers and actually start to write them myself, because I can slay off some people but it pissed me off anyway. I want to welcome Berta Medina here, Dreamer is Succeeding. She's amazing as well. And the reality is, someone like you who starts the process, walking the walk with Hillary and her relaunch co, definitely moving forward toward the dream, away from the fear, leap of faith, faith to the faith, not fear.
And I also think, because I really do I really want to help support people. So anyone listening, I want to say, asking for help, getting to the level where, because I'm a person, I always want to do everything myself. And so I think where I was at a huge roadblock in the transition was I knew I wanted to do it, but I was afraid to get help to do it, which I guess kind of applies to every aspect of life. People that are afraid of doctors, people afraid to go to therapists, all that. But I think knowing when to ask and being okay with asking help, I felt kind of embarrassed, to be honest, about working with a life coach. Why do I need a life coach? I'm super successful, but I needed it because the skills that she was able to teach me and work with me and get me comfortable with transition, I could never have done that myself.
Yeah.
I would not. It's a guide. I would not.
But it's a guide.
So being able to, you're a coach, being able to know, being okay with asking for help and knowing that there's nothing embarrassing about it. In fact, it's a sign of strength to know when you need help with something. So for anyone listening who wants to make a transition, is not sure, whatever, and is overwhelmed by the process, I think like my best advice would be, don't take it all on yourself. And you know, if you don't have the resources to hire, you know, someone to work with one-on-one, there's books, there's, you know, podcasts, there's so many ways to get that inspiration and get that knowledge. Like, we live in such an amazing world today that knowledge is everywhere. You just have to find the right person who's giving the message that you need to hear and has the tools and the skill set. But don't think that you can do it all on your own. Like, be okay with that you can't, and that you need to ask for the help, and you need to follow someone who knows what they're doing.
That's a huge takeaway today, because literally on your path toward writing this book and then actually getting it published, I mean, certainly it makes it a lot more effortless when you actually go to someone who can give you some shortcuts that they learned through their wisdom, through their stumbling, and get themselves to the end. And I know, you know, we find our tribes, right? We find the people who build us up and bring us along. And I know with you, and as well as our cohort as well, we help each other, push each other along, don't give up, keep going when we feel like we might want to lay on the floor and just scream for an hour. So, I mean, bottom lining it, that is an incredible takeaway for anyone who's considering a career change or maybe the path of an author. It becomes easier if you do, in fact, get help. And Natasha's saying, adversity builds character and unstoppable drive. Absolutely.
Natasha is awesome. She's another one. She's been so just lovely. We met through like online, but she's been so lovely and supportive. And I think, you know, to that note, finding people, and we can even find them online now. Like, how cool is that? We don't even have to go to conferences or whatever. Like, finding those support systems as well. Yeah. I think is huge. Finding people that think alike, want to, you know, be supportive to each other.
It's a great circle. And I do want to get to your book. And I think I'm only going to leave them with this.
Yeah, let's go.
6 teens, 1 dog, a ski trip gone wrong.
Yes.
Teaser, you know, that is it. I want to leave
all you need to know now, go get the book.
That's it. Go get your book. We want to talk about also, she has a pre-sale out right now, and I want to encourage all of you. It goes until Monday, October 25th. So make sure you go over to www.rektok.com and sign up and get your book and sign up for the pre-sale. She has done incredible book swag, and you guys, I swear, if not only she's a great writer, but her eye for certain things and her generosity to use those different businesses in her community, to use with the candles, with the different stickers, with everything. She's a huge circle of influence, karmic, you know, come in, come out. So supporting.
So can I just say real quick, I'm really glad you brought that up, because one thing about my pre-sale campaign, and then you know, actually everything about my book launching moving forward, it has always been, I love creatives. Like, I love them. There's something about following your passion. And for me, I love authors, obviously, because I love writers, because I am one, but it really extends throughout the whole gamut. Like, my stepdaughter is a singer. I love like singers, actors, you know, anyone, artists, anyone like that. And so it was really important for me in launching this book to bring along some of the, you know, I say female again, I do like men too, but like female, some of the female artists in the bookish community that I have personally loved following their journeys, and I wanted to make them a part of my journey. Like, that was really important to me. And so I reached out to, I'm going to mess up it's Hallie Bertling, but I think it's like Hal the Art Gal. She's just a freaking incredible watercolor artist. She does these unbelievable bookmarks. I fell in love with her work a couple of years ago. And when I was doing bookmarks, I could have made a bookmark, you know, on Canva or whatever, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I was like, I really like, how can I support this artist that I love? And I was like, I want her to do my bookmarks. Like, that would be so cool. And so, you know, I've got a candle person, there's, you know, bath bomb they're just all lovely women that have these businesses, and they do have hands in the book community. You know, they're involved, and I was like, I want to bring them along. I want to celebrate them as well in this journey that I'm on. So I'm really glad that you mentioned that, because I do think that's an important part of my story, is like celebrating other creatives as well and trying to bring them along with me, however and whenever. I love it.
And once again, being being in service, right? And especially if you're having a hard time, when you reach out to others and bring them along, it makes you feel better, and that brings that energy up as well. So you are a huge person who who serves your community that way, serves others that way. And definitely we all want to serve you that way with Ski Weekend by supporting you, getting this book to bestseller status, everyone. Let's do it, because honestly, the more we support women authors, the more we get their names out there, the indies especially, the better off we all are. We open up that space, put our foot in the door, open it wider for other people to step on through, so that the indies become more a part of the common vernacular rather than people who are just begging for time or attention. This is something that should be acknowledged over and over again. There's so many wonderful authors out there. We need to green light our own dreams. Shout out to She Writes Press, Brooke Warner. And bottom lining it, this is a fantastic book. It's already been named a best book of fall by Cosmopolitan, Yahoo Life, She Reads, Book Trib, Women.com, and more. She's already been named a American Fiction Award-winning finalist and Young Adult Reader's Favorite Book Award winner in Young Adult, and Firebird Award winner in Young Adult Fiction, which I love. Firebird, you guys, Pat Rulo is a bomb. She's the bomb. And I want to point out this is the Breakfast Club meets Alive in this gripping tale of survival. So if you love the Breakfast Club, I know there are all these 80s out there. I know.
Thank you, Carolyn. Carolyn's comment is so sweet. Carolyn, you have elevated all of us.
Yes.
You're the glue that has kept us. So people listening who are like, what are they talking about? Carolyn, we're all in, we all have the same publisher. And so we've all met, unofficially. We're trying to connect. How can I help you? How can I help you? Carolyn's one of the women in our group, and she has really helped facilitate all of us kind of getting to know each other so we can support each other. So she has been amazing. Carolyn, your positive energy has been unbelievable in my journey, everyone's journey in that group. So thank you. Thank you.
No, absolutely. Carolyn, shout out to you. You've opened doors for all of us. We love you. Suzanne saying mad praise. So
about the book. So you were doing so I don't want to cut you off, but I wanted to recognize her nice comment in the chat.
Absolutely.
So yes, so Ski Weekend, it is basically, we pitched it as Breakfast Club meets Alive. So it's 16s and a dog. The dog's my favorite part.
Nobody wants a dog dead, though. Nobody wants a dog dead, Lena.
No one wants a dog dead. 16s, one dog on the way to a senior ski trip, crash in the mountains, and what happens to them. And so that's the alive aspect, obviously, the adventure, mountains, survival, all of that fun stuff. And then the Breakfast Club aspect is, I have always loved, I'm an 80s baby. I've always loved John Hughes, but especially that movie. I've always loved the dynamic of these 5 different characters, stereotypes that we all know in the world, all kind of coming together because they're forced to be in one place and realizing, and I talk about this on my podcast too. It's like a running theme. What our preconceived notions about each other and having those kind of slide away in a certain situation. And so in the Breakfast Club, it's because they're in detention or whatever. But in my book, it's because they're now trapped, stranded in the mountains, fighting for their life. And so all those things that they thought were so important, when they were back in Southern California, you're a cheerleader. I don't like cheerleaders. You're a dumb jock. We don't have anything in common. All of that really gets stripped away. And this is why I love horror and thriller so much. When the stakes are so high that it's live or die, all these things we take into our world and into our life that really don't matter. We think they do, but they really don't. All of that gets stripped away. And so you really look at each other as human beings, not who we think they're supposed to be based on our own snapshots of life or our own crazy, thoughts and stereotypes, but we get to really know who they are. And I think through that, we get to understand, we're all human. We may think we're so different or whatever, but we really do have commonalities and ways that we can connect. And for me, I've always loved that theme, but even more so now in what's going on in society, it's really a story I wanted to tell. I'm a positive person. I really want to be there's got to be a way that we can reach each other and we can connect on some level. And this is kind of my ode to that in this book. How can we do that? And hoping when people read it, it will open their mind. Okay, these characters did it. They saw through the journey. So how can I do this in my own life? Maybe that person, that at my work, my coworker that I haven't really talked to, but because of the way they dress, the way they look, I think I'm not going to like them. Why don't I give it a shot? Let me ask them out for coffee or lunch, and maybe I actually will like them. And so that's kind of it's not preachy or whatever, but that's what I'm really hoping readers will, when they read this, kind of take away, and it'll make them go, huh, how am I doing this in my own life?
Yeah. That's amazing. And that's a young adult thriller, by the way. So imagine just all the gems that you're going to find in this wonderful book if you just to take an opportunity to read it and enjoy it, and also look at how it applies to your life. I always say this, the best books are the ones on the last page, the conversation begins.
Yeah.
So all of you, Ski Weekend is coming out next Tuesday, October 26th, pre-sale until October 25th. She's got all sorts of book events. If you're in Miami people, go to her site, sign up for the University of Miami School of Law alumni, as well as the Books and Books. We're both doing a panel on all of this wonderful stuff. We don't have a lot more time, but I wanted to make sure that she gives us a shout out to what she wants well, you already told us what the reader is going to take away. So what else have I not hit upon?
Yeah, so I'll shout out real quick. If you're on here, well, maybe it's Meg's people. So I love Instagram. I love Snick on Instagram. If I can help you, support you, whatever, find me on Instagram. It's at Rektok Ross. So I think if you just click on the thing above or whatever, and 100%, don't be shy. Shoot me a DM. Let me know how we can collaborate, work together. If you just need someone to support you, I can do that. My book comes out next week. Please, please, please purchase it if you can. You can also request a library read if you're not able to purchase, which is incredibly helpful for me as well. Pre-sale campaign ends on Monday, so please do it by Monday if you can. Please, please, please. Indie bookstores is where to get your book, at least until the 26th. Indie bookstore sales helps the bookstores, helps me. Please consider doing it. And then check out my website. There's a tour schedule, www.rektokross.com. Please come visit me. I have all these virtual and in-person. I would love to see you. I'm already afraid there's not going to be anyone in the room or signing up. So if you could consider that, share it with friends, tell them to come. I promise I will be at your stuff too.
I love it. Everything that she said. It's my first in-person book launch. So I say, come out to Miami if you're here. We're going to give you sweets and treats and some spectacular October fun. This is going to be an amazing, amazing book launch. We support you 100,000,000%. Fab5 sending all the energy to you, of course. And just to congratulate you on following your dream, moving through your fear, writing your story, never giving up on your dream, and all of the above. You are so well loved. And you know, sending mad love out your way. Go get Ski Weekend. Thank you guys for sharing.
Thanks everyone for tuning in.
Yes, sing author.
Appreciate it.
And we are all set. Go meet Liani, Rektok Ross, and enjoy it all. Have a great day, everybody. Goodbye.
Thanks, everyone.